Hello and welcome into another edition of Sitting Down with Sgar. I am the football voice of the Hoyas, Jeremy Huber, joined by Georgetown head coach Rob Scarlatta. Coach, thanks again for joining us, and of course, coming off the tough defeat against Columbia. I know one thing you like to say to me that you tell the kids all the time, it's you either win or you learn, and it felt like there were some lessons up in the Big Apple on Saturday.
Yeah, Jeremy, great to see you. I agree with you. That was our message on Monday. I've been really pleased with our senior leadership and with our council, just how they've handled the weekend overall and come back and gotten to work, getting prepared here for homecoming against Fordham.
And Coach, quickly touching on that Columbia game, I know the Lions, they were looking for a big win after a tough start for them against Lafayette and really kind of controlled things throughout most of the game. But I guess you talk about kind of plays that can really change games. There's three or four in a game. A couple times you guys got down deep into their territory, couldn't come up with points. A couple times early, it felt like there were some plays, some third downs. You get the Lions off the field, maybe changes the game a bit. Were you able to kind of find some of those and let the guys know, hey, we cleaned some of this up? That's a different game.
Yeah, congrats to Coach Fabish. It's his first win as a head coach. A longtime friend of mine. Really respect him and the staff overall up there at Columbia. They struggled in their opener against Lafayette and rebounded against us and played well. Came out and were enthusiastic and made a lot of those one plays that you're talking about. Coach Henderson, our special teams coordinator, talks a lot about living in a one-play universe. For us, there's probably 7 plays in the first half, whether there's some drops on offense or just some misfits on defense that put us in a situation where we really didn't get much going early in the game. Still got to halftime only down 2 scores and had our opportunities, as you mentioned, in the third quarter to get to even and make a run at it. So, this week we're really focusing on us. Each opponent that we play is going to have quality players and are pretty good throughout the schedule coming up. So really it's about our development and how much better we can get week to week. So really focusing on our first down efficiency offensively, red zone on both sides. And like I said, it's been a pretty spirited practice, through yesterday and today. Felt more like preseason, a couple scraps in practice today, which is a good thing. Kids are enthusiastic and really eager to get back on the field to continue our development and journey for the 2023 season.
Coach, back with the Columbia game before we move on. The running game was such a big part of the first 3 games for you guys. Even in the loss against Stonehill, you ran it well. Not so much against Columbia. What happened against the Lions and it came to the run game?
Yeah, you give them a lot of credit. They went into the game saying that they were going to take the running backs away, which they did. We had our opportunities in the pass game. I think, one of the things that I saw within the game was when we were not able to run the ball well, our kids did a great job of rallying together, working with Coach Spence and the offensive staff to come up with some other answers. I think we did some really good things at halftime, got a plan for the second half, and, just the execution wasn't there to put points on the board. We drove the ball a couple times, got it down in the red zone 3 times, and unfortunately we're unable to come away with points. So some great things to build on, some things we definitely have to correct as we continue the season.
And Coach, wanted to spotlight one guy who did have a pretty good game. Cam Pygott has a career high in receiving yards, 4 catches, 51 yards, including a real great contested catch down the sideline. What does he bring to the field for this team?
CP is steady as it gets. I trust him with everything, special teams, defense, offense, whatever we would ask him to do, he would say, yes, coach. So really a leader for us on and off the field, and comes to work every day and improves every day. So, CP has been a great player for us and a great leader, especially for our freshmen who are starting to play a bunch.
Rob, kind of a general state of the Hoyas question. We know that coaches like to break the season up in segments. You guys are 4 games in. Kind of give us your thoughts on the state of the Hoyas football team right now.
Yeah, we're a work in progress. We were up in one of our players' backyard, Zeron Daniels from Poly Prep up in Brooklyn, and had a tremendous game. And then you take a breath and realize that he just got here in the summer. So we have a lot of big mix between our older players, some of our 5th-year seniors playing, and a lot of younger players, freshmen and sophomores. So very encouraged with the development of our young guys. It's great to see them getting some game reps. And like I said, the rest of the season is very similar. Each team that we play presents their own specific challenges, and they're all pretty good. So our results will really depend on how we develop every week, how we come to work every week, and just really looking to go 1-0 each week and not really worrying about the big picture, just being very focused on short-term goals. We use the 1% a lot. We talk about what we're getting better at today and just making sure that we're going one play at a time, and we'll be able to build some victories as we do that.
Rob, you talk about good teams. One's coming to town this week and an excellent Fordham Rams team. How good are the Rams from what you've seen on tape?
They graduate one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league, and they reload with a sophomore who's similar. They still have some of their receivers from last year. Jay Wright's one of the better players at this level, so they present some challenges, and I think it's some of the things that this is why you play the game. You want to go up against good opponents that do things well, and this rivalry means a lot just for Georgetown and Fordham as a whole. With our New York-based family, with our roots up there, and some history between the two programs. So looking forward to the challenge. They've played well throughout the season. They're coming off their third victory in a row after an opening loss to Albany. So, they present some challenges on both sides of the field, and, we're really looking forward to bringing them here for homecoming.
Last year's game, you guys jump out to the big lead. They reel you back in. What were you guys able to do to kind of accumulate that big lead, and what do you have to do maybe to slow down that type of prolific offense?
If you coach long enough, you do some things well and you make some mistakes. We will really lean into the things that we're best at, on offense and defense. Anytime that you play an opponent that can score, in the 40s, you want to take a hard look at it and make sure that you're doing everything you can to be really efficient. So we're very good with the ball in the possessions that we have in the game. So, last year, Coach Spence had a great plan. Offense executed really well early. We have to be able to maintain that momentum on offense and defense. And, we're really looking for the kicking game to improve from our performance last week at Columbia, which I think hurt us in the field position battle, for it to be a big positive for us this weekend against Fordham.
Also, this weekend, it's homecoming. What does that mean to you, a guy who's Georgetown bred, to have that this weekend? Always a special weekend when folks are coming back to the homestead.
Yeah, it's great to have people come home to the Hilltop. We'll have a big team lunch on Friday. We have a number of alums that will come in and join us for practice meetings, for our team lunch, chapel. So it's really good to have our alums come back and interact with our players. They'll talk to them about career and just life in general. So anytime that our alums can get back and other people can get back and see what we're doing with the program, for me, it's a huge positive. It'll be great energy on the Hilltop for the weekend, and we're looking forward to coming back and playing at Cooper Field.
Hopefully a good performance on homecoming. And now time for our Sitting Down with Sgar spotlight. We bring on a wide receiver for the Hoyas, an upperclassman, Asante Das. Asante, thank you so much for joining us today.
Man, thank you for the invite.
Yeah, and again, Asante, a guy who kind of a leader in that wide receiver room. We'll get into that, but we really wanted to have you on this week because of your work with the Student Athlete Athletic Council. Big week for you guys. It's the kind of kickoff to the Mental Health Awareness Week. Things that you're doing so important. Kind of tell us about some of the things you're doing and your group is doing when it comes to this, such an important thing when it comes to especially college students and college athletes.
Yes, sir. So this week, specifically coming up for us, will be Helency's Hope Week. Starts October 1st through October 8th, the first week of every October. We bring in, it's a organization started behind after the death of Tyler Helenski up at Washington State, which about every conference in the nation is represented in Helency's Hope. We will all wear a green sticker on the back of our helmets to represent mental health awareness. And that's just really the football side. Dr. Force has done a great job bringing that into the program. We've done it every year since I've been here, which has always been great for us. T-shirts, representation, but honestly, it's just a week that's represented to the public. That's something that we've talked about a lot here. Taking care of your mental. I know being a student athlete, you got a lot going on in your life, that being on the field, in the classroom, and something our coaches do well is making sure that you're taken care of with a good support staff we have around here. And on the Student Athletic Council side, we're working with all teams to connect really to build a culture around Georgetown as a whole. A lot of times you get stuck into being around your teammates, your team, whether it be football, soccer. You're around your teammates a lot, but we want everyone to know, coming from the council, that we are one big family here, and that we all support one group, one message. That we are here for each other, and we won't let any one of our teammates, any one of our family members slip through the cracks here.
Yeah, Sante and Coach Scarlotta, again, that's very important. Something, so many causes very important to your heart, and that's another one here that you guys have been kind of on the forefront of this. Why is it important to you to kind of lend your supports to Helinski's Hope and all the mental health awareness things?
It's one of the things we're very blessed with here at Georgetown. Our athletic director, Lee Reed, has done a great job with wraparound support. And one of the mainstays of that has been being one of the first schools in the country to have a dedicated mental health professional work with the entire department. Actually, 2 people on staff that coordinate between athletics, main campus, and initiatives like Helinski's Hope. So for us as coaches, I think it's a huge resource to have professionals to help us to deal with and help our 104, 105 athletes through their journey, with the daily stressors that they have, whether it's home, here, school, football, injuries, loss. So to have that as a resource for us as coaches and for the players, it's a great feeling of security and support, and it's also helping our staff become better coaches because the mental health awareness and taking care of our kids, not just on the field and in the training room, is super important, especially in the environment that we are in now.
Asante, you're an upperclassman in that wide receiver room. How important has it been for you personally to make sure you were there as a mentor for those younger guys, not only on the field, but off the field when it comes to some guys coming into a place like Georgetown where it is not an easy school? There's a lot of pressure on them. How important was it been in your mind to make sure you were there for those teammates in all facets?
Honestly, it's been super important. I know personally when I came in, I was not prepared for a school like Georgetown at all. But I had people like Ahmad Wilson, Josh Stevens in my life on this team that really helped me like guide my way through here. And so I really just wanted to give back to the younger players coming in. I understand the struggles you can go through. I mean, I've had the bad grades here. I've had the injuries here. I've had the playtime fights here, and everything can build up all at once. And if you don't have someone who's there looking out for you and really, really pushing you every day to see where you are, to open up, to talk about it. Joshua Tomas every day at practice last year used to bug me to get me to talk at practice to see what was going on in my mind to make sure I was all right. And really, I thank the people who came before me and helped me out. And it's really set me on the right path to help out the younger players and really be a true leader in this room.
Asante, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about one of your other passions, again, football, leadership, all the different things you do. But as we can kind of see from your setup there, maybe even better than mine, you're a big guy when it comes to video production, audio, those different things. Why and how did that become a passion for you?
Man, so this really became a passion. I'd say this fall or this last spring. We were in February. In February, we had a lot of NIL people come in, talk to us about really what our passions were outside of sports. Maybe that could build a bigger profile for you, help you get some NIL deals. And at one of these events, Sherman Steptoe, one of my teammates, brought it up that I've been wanted, like I've talked about it. I wanted to be a Twitch streamer. I've watched dudes stream on Twitch, whether that be video games, just life things. I'm a big gamer myself. And so he brought it up, and I was like, why not? I have a lot of time on my hands coming up in the summer. I might as well start it now. And I did my research. I went out. First thing I did was buy a camera, was hooking up a whole streaming setup to my laptop. My laptop worked for about 2 minutes, shut down on me. It really wasn't working well. And so I had to do a lot more research, which got me into it. And it's really just been a fun passion on the side. When you have something like football, which is like number 2 in your life here, Coach Sgar always says you got family, football, and school. And when you have like those 3 big things in your life, some of it can really bog down on your mental health. just like not allowing you to do what you really want to do outside of that because you don't have much time. And this is just an outlet when I do have the time. I love football, and I come here and I relieve all stress, and it really sets me up to be a better player on the field.
Well, I like that, the entrepreneurial spirit of Georgetown. So many entrepreneurs. You are a one, maybe a little different than some of the ones in the past, but a one that's going to be successful as all these Georgetown guys are. Coach Carlotta, quick, can you give us a quick Asante story that kind of typifies this wide receiver for you?
He's the first guy you want to see in the morning. He's got a smile on his face. He's definitely somebody that we can go back and forth with, whether it's talking about hometown sports down in Atlanta or just things that are going on with our program. So, when you build successful programs, you need bedrock people to do that, and you need people that you've been through the wars with, whether that's on the field or off the field. So, Asante's one of those guys that's helped us build this thing. We're happy he's here with us, and he's a true man for others because instead of just worrying about getting himself set and doing those things, he's done a great job with our younger players and providing some of the support that I'm sure he received himself and maybe some of the things that he didn't get himself. So he's definitely helped us to improve our program, and he's one of the reasons why I do what I do.
Asante, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up. Coach Scarlotta, thank you again for joining us this week.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
And that'll wrap it up for another edition of Sitting Down with Sgar. Remember, Georgetown back on the hilltop this weekend for homecoming as they face Fordham. See it in person in D.C. at Cooper Field or watch online at ESPN+. Thanks to Coach Scarlotta, our guest, Hoya wide receiver Asante Das, and producer Eliza Kravitz. That's all for this edition of Sitting Down with Scar. I'm Jeremy Huber. Hoya Saxa.